So this is Champ Park in North County. I guess you might call it Florissant, although I think technically the park is in unincorporated St. Louis County in North County. Champ is just off of Old Halls Ferry Road on Grand National Drive. The easiest way probably to get here from outside of North County would be to take 270 to, say, New Halls Ferry or Old Halls Ferry and kind of weave your way north. It is a very rustic, very remote kind of park. Like it's not like Creve Coeur Lake that is this bustling metropolis of people, out on the water and doing things like that. It is very much like the kind of trails that I see when I go camping. I could easily be confused, in the midst of the trail for feeling like I was, say, in Robertsville State Park out on Gray Summit, which is a favorite of mine, or someplace like Don Robinson, which is not far from it. So it is, I just ran into a cobweb because it's not a highly trafficked trail. This park is not often used. It's typically very quiet. And so if you're somebody who likes to get out into the woods and you don't want to see a lot of humans, this is not a bad one. Coming up on the bridge here, looks like the bridge has suffered some damage. Don't think it was like this before. Had to kind of hop across there. There's a 1 mile loop that goes through Champ Park, and you can take that easily. It's unpaved and it's moderate, so I don't have a hiking stick on me because I have a camera, but you can bring a hiking stick with you. It's not always a bad idea. In the summertime, you can get cobwebs. I just brushed another one away, and you can also run into things like poison ivy. So a little bit of awareness when you're on the trail in the summertime is a good idea. In the wintertime, of course, a lot of that vanishes and it's less of an issue. Some trees that are down here, not totally surprising for a park that is generally quieter and may not be as well tended to. I wouldn't say it's not tended to. I would say that, like, the trail's okay. Somebody does come through here and do things, but it can go through some stretches of time where it doesn't have as much going on. So there's really two parts of this park. You've got the trail, which is a loop. It's 1 mile that goes in a circle. Takes you from the parking lot all the way back towards the back of the park, and then around to the front again. That's a very safe place to go hiking if you're looking just to do like the hiking loop. But then there's also the back of the park, and the back of the park is, as you'll see, prairie, and that's a really interesting part of things. It's you've kind of got two different sorts of ecological systems here in play, and I kind of like that. I like the fact that you've got like the sort of state park style trail here, but then in the back you've got like a tended prairie that kind of backs up into the suburbs. You can see the trail is a little overgrown here. I am wearing jeans, by the way. Probably seemed, even on a hot day, like a good idea back here. And again, as I mentioned at the outset, Not too much else. It's rare that I encounter other humans here. I do occasionally when I've been to this park a few times over the years. So this is kind of in the middle of the trail. You've got this wider expanse, about halfway, kind of bisects the 1 mile loop. And it's kind of a road. And if you follow the road north for a bit, you will shortly emerge in the prairie area. I have been here after heavy rains, and this stretch here back to the prairie is prone to flooding. So I have learned sometimes if it's been rainy, I might wear some taller hiking boots to help me with that. We will emerge shortly in the prairie area. It's not too much farther. Dodged another cobweb. Like I said, that's the kind of stuff you do run into. If you don't like being out in nature, this park is probably not for you. If you are somebody like me who likes to go hiking and you'd like to get a little slice of feeling like you're remote while still being in St. Louis County, this is one of several places in St. Louis County that I have found can really do it. I've been to like Powder Valley or St. Stanislaus Conservation. St. Stan's, which is in Hazelwood, is much more remote than this. Whereas Powder Valley's paved. They all have their value. This one, though, is kind of that nice, like I said, trail that feels kind of remote while also having, at least being a little bit paved. I will mention it here. I'll probably have to go and do another video at some point. Back in the trees here, I've just emerged into the prairie. And back behind the trees, there is an old rusted car that's just sitting there. In the summertime with all that foliage, I'm not gonna go traipsing through there. But in the wintertime, you can see it from the prairie area. And it's kind of a mystery. I don't know why it's there. But there is this, you've got this old rusted car. It looks like it's from like the 50s or 60s. And it's just sitting back there. I'm gonna take a little time and come around the prairie area. This is a nice little part of this park. It's so it transitions from kind of full shade woods to partial shade here and then more open sun. But you'll see that you've got some cultivated natural prairie going on there on my right. It is definitely very cultivated, and I kind of like that. I like having this area that's sort of purposefully developed to showcase what nature would look like in a little less touched space. So I will say that if you live in North County, or if you live in other parts of St. Louis, like West County, and you're looking for kind of a different kind of hiking and walking experience, this one is a bit of a drive. Admittedly, it's not close to 270. It's probably a good 10, 12 minutes off of 270. So it is a bit of a drive, but if you're looking for some different places to go to, this is a pretty fun one, actually, just for its sort of botanical diversity. Something too you can probably tell from the video that it's got a little bit of grade to it. It's not, I wouldn't say it's not the Ozarks or anything, so it's not super hilly, but there is a little bit of some ups and downs. One thing about this park is through these trees right here, you can kind of glimpse, maybe right now, some houses. Just kind of make them out through the tree line. In the winter time, when trees are more dormant, you have a much better view of what's going on back there. But in the summertime, it's definitely pretty grown, and you don't see a whole lot of civilization. So what I really like about this, kind of alluded to earlier, this is a great park if you want to kind of get away from civilization a little bit. Now, one side note, you will see little sometimes exits here that are not part of the park. They do lead to private property. There are some more. I'm not going to walk down that way right now, but there's more down. You've got pretty expansive prairie trail that goes and loops for some distance along the tree line. And there are some other exits that go into private property, and naturally I stay away from those. So what I'm doing now is I'm kind of pointed back toward the trail line that goes into the woods. So I'm kind of still obviously a little corridor here with the prairie, and I'm headed back into the woods. It is a hot day out today. This is in the summertime, and of course St. Louis, summer 90s. I'm wearing jeans, of course, as I said earlier. But I will say that, you know, you get a little breeze sometimes out here. It can be kind of nice. And although it is a little stuffy inside the woods, as often things are, it does have the virtue of being shaded. So it's okay for summer. Like I said, this is definitely a great place to come to in the winter. It's a great winter hike kind of location. Again, you can't see it from here. I'll have to come back in the winter specifically for that purpose, but the rusted vehicle is off in the foliage there. One final note is on this loop, you got a couple of options to get out. I came in on the 1 mile loop that curves through kind of goes along the sort of eastern edge of the park and back down to the entrance. But alternatively, there is the path I'm on right now, which is wider. You can take it back down to the parking lot. So there you have it. This is Champ Park in North St. Louis County. It's about 100 acres of kind of preserved land, and both prairie and wood hiking. It's free to come to. It's a St. Louis County park. Free to park, free to use. Not a whole lot of amenities, like a picnic table or two. So it's pretty simple that way. But if you're looking for just something to go and hike in for a little bit, this is a really good choice.